states, there are like 6 of them, and they were trying to destroy our dollar. They were going to say, they wanted to create a new currency. They probably wanted to use the yuan. China, they wanted to use the yuan. And Biden said, well, this is a tough situation. There's not much we can do about that. We can't help that. I said, oh, we can help it. So when I the first thing I said is any BRIC state that even mentions the destruction of the dollar will be charged a 150% tariff. And we don't want your goods. We don't want to partake. And the BRIC states just broke up. I don't know what the hell happened to them. We haven't heard from the BRIC states lately. But he said that wasn't much we could do about it. There was a lot. It took once, and literally, they said, sir, what about the BRIC states? They're going to take over the dollar, the sanctity of the dollar. They're going to create a new currency to rule the world. I said, no, they're not. They said, yes, they are, sir. They said it. I said, no, they're not. Tell them 150% tariff, plus we're not going to do business with them. And that includes China. And all of a sudden, they went to the BRIC states and they said, this, I don't know what you're even talking about. It was an amazing turnaround. No, we're not playing games. Just this week, I officially designated the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, including Trinidad and MS-13, which gives us great power. And to facilitate the rapid deportation of the worst criminals that we have anywhere in the world, we've also opened the full capacity of the detention facility at Guantanamo Bay. People don't realize that thing was built, we hear about a few prisoners, and they do have maximum security, but it actually was built for thousands and thousands of people, and we're using that prior to bringing back to their country. We use it for the bad ones, the really bad ones, and in some cases, they're so bad we don't want them to go back to the country. We want to watch them because they'll be able, if they do sneak in, we don't want that. We don't want them anywhere near our country. In addition, we're waging war on Joe Biden's inflation disaster, the worst inflation probably in our history. They say 48 years, which isn't bad, but probably in our history. And to bring down the price of energy, I declared a national energy emergency. It's going to be an emergency. And you know what, what we say and what Doug is going to do. Doug, you are so important. And Chris. Chris is known, and I got this from Doug, as the best energy guy in the entire country. And people were shocked that he wanted to do this. He gave up something tremendous. He was the biggest guy. There was nobody bigger, nobody better. And Chris Wright. Is Chris Wright here? Is he here? Where is he? This guy is, and this is from Doug. I said, Doug, I want to make you the energy czar. And he said, sir, there's one man that blows me away. Right, Doug? He said, his name is Chris Wright. He's much better. I said, I want to see this man. And I met him. And I just agreed immediately that he was far superior to Doug. I'm only kidding. We have a weird deal. We have the Department of Energy and the Department of the Interior. And Interior has all of the energy. And Doug has none of the energy, but Chris has none of the energy, but he got a hell of a good title. But we want the guy with the energy to be able to drill. So we sort of merged them and their friends and everything else. And they've got a thing going on. I think it's going to set records like nobody's ever seen before. So we have the man that controls the energy. We have the man that drills the energy. And now we put them together. And you're going to see some action. You're going to see something come way down. So thank you. And thank you, Doug. You were really terrific. He was a great governor, by the way. A couple of you may know him slightly. But he was a great governor, did a fantastic job. He made a lot of money in the technology business, sold to Microsoft for a lot of money. I won't tell you how much. I don't want to embarrass him. Some people would say it's a lot. Some people would say it wasn't that much, right? But, when you get close to $1 billion, that's pretty good. And he didn't know much about energy. When he became governor, he became one of the great experts of energy anywhere. We did really an unbelievable job with the state. He did like me. He did well in business, and then he said, let's run for politics. And he did, and they love him in the state. But he was term limited, and I watched him running. He was running against me, but I still liked him. And I said, that guy's got real talent, and he was one of the first people I called. So you're doing a great job, and thank you for leading us to Chris. I'll give you a bigger thank you in 2 years if Chris is as good as you say, okay? But I know he's going to be. Thanks a lot, Chris. Good. Go out there. If we can bring energy down, everything's coming down. You know, the eggs are coming down and the bacon's coming down. Everything is coming down, and that's the biggest thing, the energy. So those two guys are very important. To cut through the red tape, I've established a National Energy Dominance Council, chaired by the former colleague and your former colleague, Secretary Burgum. He's going to do a fantastic job. We're putting incredible people on it. I withdrew from the one-sided and very expensive Paris Climate Accord. It's a one-way street. You know, under that accord, we pay $1 trillion. Think of it. We pay $1 trillion. They pay nothing. China doesn't pay anything. India doesn't pay anything. Russia doesn't pay. We just pay everybody. It's like health organization, and every deal is no good. But we're changing it. We terminated health. You know, on the World Health, we paid 100. We paid 500. So that doesn't sound good. They have 1.4 billion people, and we have nobody knows what the hell our number is. People pour into our country. We used to say like 325. I have no idea. We'll figure it out eventually. Let's put it this way: it should be substantially less than 1.4. We have, let's say, we have 325 million. We're paying 500 million. And these aren't, I mean, relative to government, these aren't huge numbers, but this is an example of what happens when you have bad government, when you have incompetent people. So I explained this, and they called me and they said, we'll let you in for the same 39 million. I said, well, we should be much less than 39. But I didn't even want to do that because I'm not going to think about it. And it was very public. And when Biden came in, he agreed to go back into the World Health for $500 million. He could have gotten, I mean, it's a lot of money. You could have gotten it for 39 million, Joe. That's why you're not president any longer, I guess. You could have had it for 39. There was it was very public. But he took the 500 million instead, because he never laid in bed at night sweating, tossing and turning like half of these governors. Not all of them probably, but half of them. It's sweating.